Panglantaw sa kagabi. This evening, we will be discussing about itong kang vice ganda ba nga sa ihang concert nga i-boycott na siya sa mga DDLs or DDS nga kuan kanto ng istorya ni vice ganda ang mga pang-istorya po ni Duterte unya na-offend man dayon sila. Labon bitaw kani sila, kusog kaayo manglait. Kusog kaayo mang bully. Pero sila'y mabaslan, murag kuan ila kung ipa-declare si vice ganda o persona non grata sa Davao City. Dayon, maunay ato ang hisgutan karon mga igsoon. Pero sa dili pa nato sugdan mga higala, ato sang shout out kinitong mga likers Lilian Martinez Tubigon, Pastora Sheila Maris Haranilla Makigangay, si Ma'am Elsie Maasin, kuaning classmate sa una sa grade 1 pa ko sa Esperanza, no? Esperanza Elementary School, Ramon Magsaysay sa Buanga del Sur. Dato ang ICT coordinator diha sa Kalubi Integrated School, si Ma'am Revelyn Pabli Lagata. Mayong gabi kanimo diha, ma'am. Kani sila no mga kani sila gitawag ni sila mga DDS or DDLs. Mga kusog kay ni sila mangbuli. Kusog kay pod magkuan labi na si FL Lisa Marcos, grabe na sila makapangbuli. Karon bitaw nga si vice ganda joke ra sa iyang concert, grabe na ilang reaction. Mao na atong diskutan karon mga igsoon. The title of our discussion this evening is He God? Celebrity Voices, Political Loyalties, and the Weight of Words. They say, words are like seeds. Once spoken, they fall into the soil of public consciousness. And whether they grow into truth or into poison depends not only on the speaker but also on the hearer. Tonight we center a strange intersection where entertainment meets politics, where a comedian's quip collides with the fragile pride of a political movement. It started as a social media steer, vice ganda, a household name in Philippine entertainment, known for humor that persists and provokes, made remarks that some Duterte supporters found offensive. The reaction was sweet, sharp, and unforgiving. The post we saw online crystallizes the conflict. Ngano suko man mo ni vice ganda? Nagtudlo ra ba siya nga tinuod? Naura nagsulti siya sa tinuod. Naaman mo giingon mura og Ginoo si Duterte. Is he God? And here lies the deeper question. Not just about vice ganda or Duterte, but about how we as a people treat leaders and how we respond when our loyalty is tested by criticism. In a democratic society, freedom of speech is a protected right under Article 3, Section 4 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Wala gyud makapugong nato sa ato ang right nga nagyud tay freedom of speech. Akong basahon, no law shall pass abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or of the priests. That means, Vice Ganda, like any Filipino, like me, nobody can deprive me of having my freedom of speech. Has the legal right to voice opinions. We have the legal rights to voice opinions, whether they be serious critics or comedic jabs about politicians, policies, or public figures. But the same Constitution also recognizes human dignity as inviolable. Article 2, Section 11. This is where the tension lies. Freedom of speech is not freedom from consequences. Kung mosulti ka, kinahanglan andam ka, mosalo sa reaksyon. And in politics, reactions are amplified because what's at stake is identity. People see attacks on their leader as attacks on themselves. Duterte's supporters, DDS or DDLs, have long been known for first loyalty. For many, Duterte was more than a president. He was a savior from crime and drugs. A man who spoke like them, who defied the elites. When Vice Ganda poked fun or questioned him, they didn't just hear humors, they heard blasphemy. From a biblical lens, the issue isn't simply about humor or offense. The question, is he God? Brings us face to face with the ancient warning against idolatry. Exodus chapter 20 verse 3 says, "You shall have no other gods before me." In the Old Testament, idolatry was not only bowing to carved statues, but also elevating human leaders to divine status, giving them the unquestioned loyalty that belongs only to God. Kung atong leader dili nato masaway, kung tanan niyang buhat atong dipinsahan bisan sayop, dili na kini gugma sa nasod, idolatria na kini. The Bible reminds us that human leaders, no matter how great, are flawed and finite. Psalm chapter 146 verse 3 warns, "Do not put your trust in princes, in human beings who cannot save." This doesn't mean disrespecting leaders. Romans chapter 13 commands us to submit to governing authorities, recognizing they are God's instrument for order. But submission is not worship. Criticism is not rebellion if it seeks truth and accountability. From legal standpoint, there are protection and boundaries. Vice Ganda's remarks unless they fall into libel or slander as defined in Article 353 of the Revised Penal Code are protected. Libel requires malice and a false statement that damages reputation. A rhetorical question like, is he God? Is an opinion, not a statement of fact. And under jurisprudence, opinions generally cannot be the subject of libel. Internationally, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 19, affirms freedom of opinion and expression. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, echoes this but warns that speech must respect the rights and reputations of others. That's the tightrope. Protect the joker's freedom to jest, while recognizing that words can wound, especially in a hyper-partisan climate. Vice Ganda is not a political analyst. He is an entertainer. But in today's media ecosystem, entertainers can shape public perception as much as or even more than politicians. Humor is a potent weapon. It can soften hard truths or sharpen criticism to a deadly point. Satire has a long tradition of holding the powerful accountable. Even in biblical times, prophets like Nathan confronted kings with parables that cut to the heart. 2 Samuel chapter 12. But satire also risks misunderstanding. Those who are laughing might miss the moral, while those who are targeted may harden their hearts. Why is the reaction so intense? Partly because Philippine politics is often personality-based rather than issue-based. Loyalty is personal. Attacks feel like betrayal. And in a culture where utang na loob or debt of gratitude runs deep, speaking against someone who has done good for you feels dishonorable. But here's the biblical and civic challenge. True loyalty is not blind. Proverbs chapter 27 verse 6 says, "Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies cases." If we love our leaders, we must be willing to point out their faults for their good and for the good of the nation. If we are to grow as democracy, we must learn to distinguish between disrespect and accountability, between malice and truth-telling. Leaders must accept criticism as part of public service. Supporters must not treat dissent as heresy. And public figures, whether politicians or comedians, must wield their words responsibly. Sa katapusan, dili tinuod nga murag Ginoo ang atong leader. Dili sila perfecto. Dili sila immune sa sayo. Dili sila labaw sa balaod ug sa kamatuoran. Only God holds that place. And if we remember that, perhaps we can hear each other better, laugh at ourselves more, and build a nation where truth does not fear laughter, and laughter does not fear truth. Kini ang panglantaw sa kagabhion, di nagkahayag sa kangit-ngit, mudanag bisan pa sa kangit-ngit. Or ang kahayag sa kamatuoran, mudanag bisan pa sa kangit-ngit. Kini inyong higala, igsuon o galagad, Jeremias Labaho Tupigon, reminding you nga sa atong pagpangandoy o matarong nga katilingban, ang kamatuoran gayud ang atong sugat. O sa kangit-ngit sa kasaysayan, ang tinud-anay nga pamunuan, ang labing hayag nga paglaom. Daghang kayong salamat sa inyong pagtanaw, pagpaminaw. Shout out Ma'am Estrella Palir Bakar nga naa sa ato ang live karon. Kini inyong igsuon higala sa makausapam ingon ang Dios magapanalangin ug magapanalangin kanatong tanan. Maayong gabi.